Perfect. Welcome, everyone. My name is Leah Bobrowski-Vogt, and I'm here today on behalf of Ross University School of Medicine. So I'm the Associate Director of Admissions here in Canada with Ross. I'm located in the Toronto area, and I've had the pleasure of working with Ross over the past year. And prior to joining Ross, I worked for residency training programs at a Canadian medical institution. So I'm well versed on both sides of the journey and happy to answer any questions that anyone may have. So Ross University School of Medicine has been operating since 1978, so over 40 years that we've been established, and we are one of the oldest Caribbean medical schools. So we are located in the beautiful island of Bridgetown, Barbados, and I'd love to start off with just a little snapshot of what we look like. Great. So at Ross, we offer a 4-year medical degree program. And just to give you an idea of where Barbados is situated, obviously in the Caribbean, it is an English-speaking country, and there are direct flights available right from Toronto, Ontario. It's about a 5-hour flight. So this is where the medical science curriculum is actually delivered. So that was where you would spend your first 2 years in Barbados. And so the majority of your medical education is actually spent in the US. So that's where you would spend years 3 and 4, which makes up about 2/3 of your medical education. So why Ross University School of Medicine? So as you saw in that short little clip there, that we have an alumni network of over 15,000 practicing grads across North America. So that's including US and Canada. And a number of our Canadian grads go on to pursue residency training in Canada. However, the majority of which actually do so in the United States and end up matching to a residency program there, become board certified and licensed, and actually return to Canada to practice. So our competitive match rate, our first time residency match rate for this past year was at 95.2% at the match at the NRMP in the United States. We also include a 96.7% success rate on the USMLE. So that is a first time pass rate of almost 97%. Our commitment at Ross is to physician diversity and our student body and fostering an inclusive environment. We offer a number of scholarships and grants to help support our students who are committed to, completing their medical degree in an environment that will allow them to do so. So the majority of students, for example, who have applied right in Canada or the United States, simply there aren't enough seats, and it is a highly competitive process. A lot of the time, students being unsuccessful and looking for an alternative route to pursue their careers. So this opportunity will allow you to really immerse yourself in an opportunity that will allow you to come back home to practice. So what does our student body look like at Ross? So to give you kind of a snapshot here as well, that our Canadian student body makes up about 8%, of which the majority of our students do come from the US. So what does your path to residency look like attending Ross University School of Medicine? As I mentioned, your first 2 years are spent in Barbados for the medical science portion of the curriculum. We have 2 curriculum options, one of which is our standard accelerated track, which is 4 semesters, the equivalent of 16 months, and our Ross Plus, our regular track, which is over a 5-semester track, which is 20 months total. So all of our students actually start in a common first semester, more at the accelerated pace, and students must pass with a 70% or higher to remain in the accelerated portion, or may then go into the Ross Plus, which is the 5-semester regular track. Upon completion of your first 2 years in Barbados, that's where you will take the USMLE, so the United States Medical Licensing Exam, Step 1. And upon successfully completing the USMLE Step 1, that's where you will first embark upon Internal Medicine Foundations, which is in year 3. And that is where you will actually be in a physician-supervised, immersive, clinical placement, so to speak, where you have an opportunity to further hone your physical examination, patient examination, diagnostic, communication, and all those skills to provide you with the competence and confidence to actually go into your core rotations. So in that year 3, your core rotations, those will take place at our affiliated teaching hospitals in the United States. And in year 4, that's where you will begin with the USMLE Step 2. This will also be an opportunity for Canadian students wishing to participate in the CARMS match back here in Canada to also take the Medical Council of Canada Qualifying Exam Part 1, as well as the NAC OSCE, which are 2 exams that are required in order to be eligible to participate in the CARMS match. And also in that 4th year, that's where you will actually do your elective rotations. So those also take place at our affiliated hospitals in the United States. However, students also have the opportunity to do non-affiliated electives, which can mean doing those electives back in Canada as well. So obviously upon completion of your final year, or in your final year, that's where you would then apply for residency training. And our students are eligible to participate in both the Canadian Resident Matching Service R1 match back here in Canada, as well as the NRMP, the National Resident Matching Program back in the United States for entry-level postgraduate training positions. During your residency, of course, this is where you will complete your training in a discipline of your choice that you have actually matched to. And at that time, that's where you will complete the USMLE Step 3, become board certified and licensed to either, continue to practice in the United States, or then apply to go to Canada as well and seek licensure in the province you wish to practice. So what does life at Ross look like when you're on island? And just to give you an idea for our students, where do you end up living? So we actually have what is a student housing complex at the villages of Coverley, and these are 3 to 4 bedroom homes shared with fellow students. So our students have their own private living headquarters in terms of their own bedroom space. It's not shared with anybody, some of which have private baths. The majority have shared, and this also includes shared common space such as the kitchen, living room, and so forth. All of our houses are equipped with their own Wi-Fi, laundry. Every bedroom has their own individual air conditioners and so forth as well. So what does our technologically advanced campus look like? So our students take part in didactic sessions that are lecture-based. They're also recorded for our students to then revisit those lectures at their own time and for their studying needs as well. So although the lectures are in the larger halls and so forth, all of our clinical training and all of the hands-on exposure that you get during those years are actually done in smaller group-based learning. So our curriculum, our medical sciences curriculum, features an organ systems-based teaching model. So with that approach, our students learn medicine system by system through this organ-based instruction. So that way our students get to learn the anatomical, physiological, and biochemical processes of the organ systems all at once, which actually mirrors how medicine is actually practiced. So during this time while you are on island, this preclinical curriculum also combines hands-on and lecture-based instruction. So you're going to take part also in clinically relevant activities right from semester 1. So you're not waiting until your upper years in year 3 and 4 to immerse yourself in those activities. So this is actually done through various activities while on island. So we also have an advanced high-tech hands-on anatomy lab, which features these sector dissection tables. So with the anatomy tables, you're actually manipulating digitalized imaging of human cadavers. And that way you are able to see that spatial relationship between all of the pieces of the body. And then we also have a number of other resources that our students learn through on a regular basis, including the use of our anatomy case studies, complete anatomy app, and so forth. We also feature a simulation center, and this is where our students really begin honing their clinical skills. So this is used on high fidelity patient simulators. We also make use of, for example, standardized patients, where our students are working in small groups and really working on their patient examination skills. And again, those smaller case studies done in small group-based learning. So again, this is only relevant when you are in those larger lectures and didactic sessions where you actually are in larger groups, but those hands-on training and hands-on activities are done in groups of no more than 2 to 9 students, depending on the activity. So what does the clinical curriculum look like? So I know we mentioned previously that this is where you will be embarking upon your rotations in the United States. The entire clinical curriculum consists of 90 weeks, first starting in that immersive internal medicine foundations clerkship. So this is done in Miramar, Florida. And again, this is done at one of our affiliated hospitals. And prior, or rather following internal medicine foundations, this is where you will take part in your core rotations. So this includes core rotations in internal medicine, surgery, pediatrics, family medicine, obstetrics and gynecology, and psychiatry. To then further supplement those core rotations, that's where students have the opportunity to tailor their learning in their 4th year through their elective rotations, which consists of 34 weeks. Students are eligible to, for example, should they wish to do their electives outside of our US affiliated teaching hospitals, that you can do so by applying for electives even back home in Canada through the Association of Faculties of Medicine of Canada AFMC portal. And that's where any elective time spent, for example, in Canada will count towards your ultimate 34 weeks of elective rotations. So at Ross, we also offer the opportunity to complete all of your rotations in a single geographical location. So unlike a lot of other teaching models across, some of the other Caribbean medical schools, for example, where it's more of a distributed model and you're required to travel from one state to the next in order to complete your core rotations, all of which are done in a single geographical location. So not only is this more financially reasonable for students because they're able to stay in their same apartment, for example, throughout the duration of their time, it also allows you to build those rapport and have that continuity of care as well. So to give you an idea of the rotation sites that are available to students, these right here are where our affiliated hospitals are and each of the track locations. So for example, all of our students can select their rotation site, so their home-based track location. However, it's based on subject to capacity. We like to tell students to have 2 or 3 in mind. However, the majority of our students do match to their first, or rather do receive their first choice of a rotation site. So that would be where their clinical home base would be located. So again, to give you an idea of what your pathway looks like, as you go through these years, this is where you're going to then start looking towards residency, and in your final year then applying for residency. So along the way, we have a number of supports that are available to our students. Each of our students are dedicated and assign a team of advisors that assist them throughout year 1 to 4. So whether you're on island in Barbados, each student, or if you're in your clinical years, each student has that support along the way. Further to your team of advisors, we also have the Academy for Teaching and Learning, as well as the Counseling Center. So at the ATL, this is where we have individuals working with you to further strengthen any or refine any skills that you may need. This also features peer tutoring programs, individualized support, faculty mentoring, and just various workshops and opportunities to strategize and basically build your study skills, and perhaps if you're having any difficulties in any areas, an opportunity to further enhance those as well. Also on island, getting involved, we have more than 40 student organizations. One of our most common one for our Canadian students is the Canadian Medical Student Association, but we have a number of student organizations on campus that allow students to immerse themselves with like-minded individuals with similar interests. So this includes professional clubs, specialty practice clubs, as well as religious and ethnic student associations, intramural type sport activities, and so forth. So where do we fall in terms of meeting, meeting residency placements throughout the United States, in Canada, and essentially fixing the shortage of, a lack of physicians and whatnot. So back in 2020, we attained over 597 residency placements in over 24 disciplines. So basically, to give you an idea of what that looks like, is throughout the United States, there are over 32,000 first-year residency positions, whereas back here in Canada, there are between, I believe, 3,000 and 4,000 positions, and even fewer for internationally trained physicians. This is why the majority of our students actually end up matching in the United States, because there are far more positions available. So within that total number, over 13,000 of which were actually filled by international graduates, which includes, Canadians studying abroad. And these just goes to show that we are meeting and remaining competitive within the residency matches as well. So to give you an idea of some of our highlights, we have matched to various, highly competitive specialties all across the United States. These are some of the disciplines that our students have more recently matched to in 2020. And throughout the last few years, some of our Canadian residency highlights include specialty matches and primary care matches at a number of institutions, including, for example, University of Toronto, U of Ottawa, University of Manitoba, all the way across the provinces there. And as you can see here, that a lot of which are actually highly competitive specialties as well. So at Ross, our admissions philosophy is that anyone with the requisite ability, character, and desire to become a physician deserves an opportunity to pursue his or her dream. So with that, we have a holistic admissions approach, and we look at the entire person. So unlike many Canadian institutions, if you haven't met a certain GPA threshold or a certain score in the MCAT, oftentimes you are automatically taken out of the running and not even looked at any further past that. So with our holistic admissions approach, we look at the entire person, and we evaluate not only your academic merits, so to speak, including the prerequisite courses that are listed here, but we also look at your strength of your references, any medically related experience, including volunteerism, work-related experience, and so forth, why you want to pursue medicine. So this is, also we ask for a personal statement for you to be able to convey that information to us as well. We also conduct a personal interview. So this is where you also have an opportunity to further speak about your journey that has led you there, and an opportunity for us to really, look at you and your journey and see what it is that attracts you to the profession, and if you would be a great fit for us, and if we would be a great fit for you as well. So all of our students, in order to apply, they do require an MCAT. Right now, we're currently waiving an MCAT during for the next start date, which is in January, based on the current state of the pandemic. However, it is usually a requirement that we do require, as well as a cumulative GPA that we look at, especially the undergraduate prerequisite courses. So as noted here, our students are required to have 2 semesters of each, and there are some substitutions that are available as well. So we work on a case-by-case basis with students in order to ensure that, they've met our prerequisite requirements, and, if there are any substitutions in the event that they are missing any. So applying to Ross, we have 3 start dates. This includes January, May, and September classes. January and May being our smaller classes, September being our larger cohort. You're able to apply online. We have waived the cost of our application, so we encourage students to apply in their final year. However, at any point in time, it's an opportunity to get in touch with us and our admissions team to discuss your future application and start preparing in terms of documentation and so forth. So the 3 possible decisions are either acceptance, denial, or recommendation to MERP, our Medical Education Readiness Program. So this is a preparatory course that's over 15 weeks, and this allows students to basically cover some of the coursework that would help prepare them before the formal portion of our medical degree program. So basically this is for students that the committee feels would benefit from some additional preparation, and coursework right here also includes the following courses. And then we also have an opportunity to do this online as of right now because of the pandemic. Otherwise, we have our campus in North York that we work out of to offer the MERT program, as well as one in Miramar, Florida. To give you a quick snapshot of, typical averages of students who are admitted into our program, an MCAT score that falls within the 492 to 500 threshold, prerequisite GPA calculations of a 2.79 to 3.42, and an overall cumulative undergrad GPA of a 2.91 to 3.47. So it's not to say that if you fall under those thresholds or above those thresholds that there's any differences, is to give you an idea of an average of a typically admitted student. In terms of tuition, our medical sciences semesters, so those are semesters 1 to 4 on island, that is at $24,170 US. If you are doing the Ross Plus track, you would be doing $18,128 for that added semester. And then each semester of our clinical rotations is at $26,676 US. So this is, for example, which includes a snapshot of our tuition itself. Further to that, there are, other fees such as the housing fees. However, we also have grants that assist with that. And then students are responsible, for example, for their own living accommodations while they are in the United States. So in terms of financial aid, students who apply to our program, they are also eligible to receive provincial student loan programs and professional lines of credit. So we encourage students to apply for that. We also have a number of need-based and merit-based scholarships that are available for those who apply and qualify. And we also have them listed here, which include our Raw Success Scholarship, and that provides tuition assistance as well as a housing grant. So all of our Canadian students at present will be offered a housing grant that provides them with complimentary housing while on island in Barbados. So this is the 3 to 4 bedroom shared living accommodations, and that makes a savings of about $4,000 US per semester. We also have a Canadian Founder Scholarship for those who apply and qualify under the thresholds there, which are both a GPA calculation and an MCAT calculation. An Alumni Legacy Scholarship for those who have worked under our grads, and also a Community Health Leadership Award for those who have made significant contributions to their volunteerism. So we have additional information about the scholarships and how you may qualify for them listed on our website as well. So to recap, we are, a alternative route for many in order to pursue your dream of becoming a physician. So your road to residency starts, from semester 1 on island, and we really give you the tools that you need and the immersive experiences that are going to allow you to remain competitive in the residency matches and, ultimately pursue your dream of becoming a physician, whether that be, in the United States, in Canada, or abroad. With our accredited program, there are no limitations, for example, as to where our students can eventually practice. So I just want to thank you for your time today, and I'm interested in, answering any questions that you may have, and of course, staying in the loop with you by of course allowing you to get in touch. I'd love to hear from you, hear more about, your program of study, where you are right now in your education, and how we can help you with your future application and provide you with any other information that you may need. So thank you once again.
That's great. Thank you so much, Leah. Oh, I seem to be echoing. There was one question here just about entrance scholarships. You did speak to scholarships there quickly, but is there anything specific you could mention quickly? I do have to wrap us up because I've got to start another one in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have any.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have, I was going to say, our most common entry scholarship is actually our Raw Success Scholarships. So those range in the amount of $78,000 to $108,000 US. And students who, qualify for that, we have it listed on our website as to, what MCAT score and what GPA calculations trigger a scholarship within that range. And basically our students are provided with tuition and housing assistance from semesters 3 to 8. So what that means is a portion of your tuition is covered from semesters, 3 to 10, so for 8 semesters, and then you will also be awarded a housing grant, and that's what provides you with complimentary rent at our Ross student housing from semesters 1 to 4 while on island.
Wonderful. That's great. Thank you so much, Leah. I really appreciate you coming today to our very first virtual grad expo. And thanks to our students for attending. A reminder that Leah's contact information is on the screen here. And this will be, or has been recorded and will be shared. So if there's any, if you wanted to rewatch or, just, refresh on anything, there was a lot of information shared by Leah today. So this will be available after the fact.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful
Take
weekend.
care.
Bye.